teachers, nurses, drivers, and other workers. For contributors, however, the levy often feels like just another automatic deduction. Money taken from payslips with no clear guarantee of a home, no clear timeline, and little feasible accountability. Similarly, the Morning Star, infamously known as the Social Health Authority, SHA, was sold to Kenyans as a path to universal health care. By August 2025, hospitals across this country had submitted claims totaling 98 billion Kenyan shillings. When you add the 33 billion uncleared arrears inherited from NHIF, the total debt is astronomical. And these failures are not restricted to our healthcare, but they have been infected our education and higher education systems as well. Public universities are carrying debts estimated between 67.8 billion to 72.4 billion Kenya shillings as of mid-2025. The new and failed higher educational funding model has disrupted access for more than 100,000 university students and left institutions with cash flow gaps. Students in our universities face uncertain times. Voices from our students and lecturers show that majority of students are going without a meal. The consequence is a cyclical industry action, strikes that interrupted learning, and a future workforce whose training and prospects are uncertain. A future workforce whose formation is being disrupted year after year by the same failures. We cannot discuss workers without addressing the informal sector. About 4 out of 5 workers earn their living in the informal economy. Informal work absorbs nearly all new jobs created annually, accounting for about 86% of new opportunities. It is the backbone of our everyday life. Take border riders, for instance. 2 million of them keep our cities moving and supporting shops, markets, and deliveries, generating roughly 660 billion Kenya shillings a year, about 4.4% of the GDP. Yet their work remains risky. It is just the first quarter of 2025. There were 431 reported deaths and 5,856 serious injuries from motorcycle crashes, roughly 5 lives lost every day, imposing about Kenya shillings 50 billion a year in medical and family costs. Likewise, Uber, Bolt, Wasili, Faras, Taxify, little cab drivers face their own challenges. Platforms take 20 to 25% in commissions. Many net under 100 shillings an hour off peak, despite 10 to 14 hours shifts, and a single unexplained deactivation can wipe out a family's income overnight. We have a world of a system that extracts the maximum amount of labor from a person while giving them the minimum power to protect themselves. This unfair pay is a modern day slavery. This is a system that causes children to miss school, workers failing to afford treatment, and families failing into debt. There must be justice for up workers. For instance, Uber alone has reported over 130,000 drivers in Nairobi and more than 1 billion riders annually, underscoring the density and economic importance of the platform ecosystem within a single metropolitan area. Our private sector is under pressure too. Small and medium enterprise remains fragile. For instance, the private security industry, which employs more than 1.3 million guards through the 789 licensed security firms, face structural risks from proposals to substitute their services with National Youth Service personnel, a change that could displace thousands of workers and destabilize the entire sector without a clear transition plan. Patriotic Kenyans and workers, and there is labor migration, the job majority phenomenon. The government tells us that between 300 and 500 Kenyans leave Kenya each week, seeking work abroad. That is 15,600, 26,000 annually. Of course, you all know it's a lie. That kind of movement at the airport would have been noticed by everybody. It's another mirage. This is driven by a youth unemployment rate of 35% and a domestic economy that cannot absorb nearly 1 million new entrants each year. But what jobs do they go to do in these countries? The Kenyan workers in the Middle East are going through modern day slavery. They are distressed, they are abused, they are persecuted, they are dehumanized. Kenyans are being conscripted into Russian and Ukraine military without their consent. To date, we have thousands of Kenyans unaccounted for, others in dangerous war zone and indecent work as the Ruto regime demands that Kenyans clap their hands for them. Many Kenyans have lost their lives in the Russian war. Many parents are in anguish. They don't know where their children are. And we have a government that doesn't care. If any Kenyan must be taken to work anywhere in the world, let it be decent. Work with equal pay for equal work done. I want to assure the Kenyan worker and every Kenyan that we are in an unstoppable journey to bring back better our nation. We are on a course to restore the dignity of the Kenyan payslip and the Kenyan worker. Our workers must be happy again. Every Kenyan worker and every Kenyan for that matter deserves dignity and honor. Every Kenyan deserves to live a good life. And I must add that the Kenyan worker is in distress, feeling helpless, not knowing what to do, abandoned by the union leaders, oppressed by a government elected into office. And we have a lot of problems in families. Depression has set in. Suicide is on the rise. Families are breaking up because of distress of the Kenyan worker after their pay slips have been raided by William Ruto. I want to give the Kenyan worker a message of hope this morning. All is not lost. In another 15 months, you'll have an opportunity to have a referendum question in the general election. The Kenyan worker must go to the polling station with a referendum question. Do I, a Kenyan worker, want to restore the dignity of my payslip or not? The payslip holders about 3.5 million. From my own assessment, every payslip holder has a minimum influence of 2 other people. 2. So the worker plus the 2 is 10.5 million Kenyans. If these 10.5 million Kenyans turn up at 5 a.m. on 10th of August 2027, without many other questions, just having one question and make the election a referendum for the Kenyan worker and go to the ballot and ask, do I want to restore the dignity of my payslip, or do I want the oppressor to continue raiding my payslip and subjecting me to poverty and humiliation?